A good day to all of you. Today we are creating the 16th lesson in our microbit lesson series. So let's begin. First, click on the plus mark at the top of the screen and open a new tab. Now type as www.makecode.com in the address bar and enter the MakeCode website. From here, click on Microbit. Now you're ready to start the project. Click on New Project and name this project as Project 16A. Click on the Create button here. Now you have entered the project. Today, we will create a light meter and thermometer using microcontrollers. We don't need the forever code block and the onStart code block here for this project. So, let's remove these code blocks. In this way, I right-click on the forever code block and give delete blocks. In this way, right-click on the onStart code block and give delete blocks. Now we can create the code. Let's see what happens in this code. When button A is pressed, the thermometer turns on and displays the temperature. It is also necessary to display whether it is hot or cold. When button B is pressed, the light meter is activated. It is necessary to display the light level of the environment and whether the environment is light or dark. For this, we need to create two functions. First, let's create the function for the thermometer. For this, I click Functions and click the Make a Function button. Let's type the name of the function here. I remove the word do something and type thermometer. Now click the Done button. Now you can see that the code block required for the function has been added here. First, let's display the letter T. I drag the showString code block under basics here and give the letter T for the text. Let's drag a post code block under basics like this and change the time to 1000 milliseconds. Next, we need to display the temperature of the environment. For that, I drag a showString code block from basics here again. Now let's connect a join code block in the text like this. Here a temperature code block in the input is connected and the unit letter C is typed here. Next is to display whether it is hot or cold depending on the temperature. For that, an if-else code block in the logic is dragged into the function. If the temperature is 27 degrees or less, it needs to be displayed as it is cold, or if it is more than 27 degrees Celsius, it needs to be displayed as hot. For the condition here, let's drag a block code with the equal sign under logic. Click on the arrow in front of the equal sign and select the smaller than or equal sign. Let's drag a temperature code block in the input to the left side from the less than or equal sign and give 27 to the right side. If this condition is true, it is necessary to display it as cold. I'm going to drag a showString code block in basics here. Let's give the text as it is cold and drag a showString code block under basics again into the else section. The text is given here as it is hot. Okay, now the function is created. Next is to call the function. Since the thermometer needs to be activated when the button A is pressed, we call the function in an onButtonA_pressed event. For this, an onButtonA_pressed code block under input is dragged here. I think it would be better if a music was played first and the thermometer turned on. Now let's drag a play sound code block in music here. For the sound, I selected hello. Next, call the function, drag the call thermometer code block under the function into the onButtonA_pressed code block. Okay, now we have finished creating the thermometer. Next is to create the light meter in the same way. For that, we need to create another function. For this, as before, I click on Functions and click on the Make a Function button. Let's type the name of the function here. I remove the word do something and type light meter. Now click the Done button. Now you can see that the code block required for the function has been added here. Let's display the letter L. I drag the showString code block under basics here and give the letter L for the text. Let's drag a post code block under basics like this and change the time to 1000 milliseconds. Next, it is necessary to display the light level of the environment. For that, I drag a showString code block from basics here. Now let's connect a light level code block under input here. Next, it is to display whether it is dark or bright according to the light level. For that, an if-else condition under logic is dragged into the function. If the light level is 0, it is dark, and if it is more than 0, it is not completely dark. For the condition here, let's drag a code block with the equal sign in logic. To the left side of the equal sign, drag a light level code block in input and give 0 to the right side. If this condition is true, it is necessary to display it is dark. I'm going to drag a showString code block in basics here. Let's give the text as it is dark and drag a showString code block under basics again into the else section. Here the text is given as it is not completely dark. Okay, now the function is created. Next is to call the function. Since the light meter needs to be activated when the button B is pressed, we call the function in onButtonB_pressed event. For this, an onButtonA_pressed code block under input is dragged here. Click on the arrow in front of A and select B. I think it would be better if music was played and the light meter worked like before. Now let's drag a play sound code block in music here. Let's keep the sound as giggle. Next, call the function, drag the call light meter code block under the function into the onButtonB_pressed code block. Okay, now we have finished creating the thermometer and light meter project. You can connect your microbit device to the computer and run this project. If you made it in this way, you little ones are very talented. Good. Now let's go to the second part of the lesson. I click on this back arrow again and go to the previous page of the website. Next, let's start a new project. Click on New Project and name this as Project 16B. Click on the Create button here. Now you have entered the project. Now we are going to create a light timer project. This displays how long a certain light has been in the environment. Now we can create the code. First, let's create the necessary variables for this. I click Variables and click the Make a Variable button. Let's give the name of this variable as dark and click the OK button. For the next variable, click the Make a Variable button again and give the name of this variable as end time. Now, let's click the OK button. Again, click the Make a Variable button. Give the name of this variable as minutes and click the OK button. For the next variable, click the Make a Variable button again and give the name of this variable as reading. Now let's click the OK button. Again, click the Make a Variable button. Give the name of this variable as start time and click OK. Once again, click the Make a Variable button and let's type the name of this variable as timing. Now click the OK button. Click the Make a Variable button once again for the last variable. Give the name of the variable as total time and click the OK button. OK. In the beginning, the value of the dark variables need to be 100. For this, drag a set minutes to code block under variables into the onStart code block. Click on the arrow in front of minutes and select dark. Here, the value is given as 100. OK. Next, let's see how to count the time the light has been received. First, you need to assign the light level in the reading variable. Let's drag a set minute to code block in the variables into the forever code block. Click on the arrow in front of minutes and select reading. Connect a light level code block under input for the value. Next, we need to check whether the light level is greater than the value of the dark variable. For that, an if-else code block under logic is dragged here. Let's connect a code block with the equal sign under logic for the condition. Click on the arrow in front of the equal sign and select the larger than sign. Drag a reading code block under variables to the left side of the larger than sign and connect a dark code block under variables to the right side. If the time has not yet started counting, the value of the timing variables will be false at this point. Now let's check whether the timing is false. I drag an if code block under logic into the if section. Let's drag a not code block under logic for the condition. Here, I connect a timing code block in the variables. If you haven't started counting the time yet, you need to start from this moment. Therefore, we drag a set minute to code block in variables into this section Therefore, we drag a setMinute2 code block in variables into this second if code block. Click on the arrow in front of minutes and select Start Time. Here, let's connect the running time MS code block under More in the input. Also, drag a setMinutes2 code block under variables here again and select timing instead of minutes. Let's connect a true code block under logic for the value. At this point, if the value of the timing variable is true, that means if the time has started to count, we can calculate the time when the light was received. I drag an if code block in the logic again into the else part of this if code block. Here, let's connect the timing code block in the variables for the condition. At this point, we can find the end time. For this, we drag a setMinute2 code block in the variables into this if code block. Click on the arrow in front of minutes and select end time. Here, let's connect the running time MS code block under More in the input. Now, since you know the start time and the end time, you can calculate the total time based on that. For that, drag a setMinute2 code block under variables back here and select total time instead of minutes. Let's connect a code block with the minus sign in math for the value. The end time code block under variables is connected to the left side of the minus sign, and the start time code block under variables is connected to the right side. Okay, now the total time is found. But this total time is obtained in milliseconds. Let's convert this time into minutes and assign it in the minutes variable. You probably know that to convert milliseconds to minutes, you need to divide it by 60,000. I'm going to drag a setMinute2 code block in variables here. Let's drag a code block with the division sign under math for the value. The total time code block in the variable is connected to the left side of the division sign, and 60,000 is given to the right side. Okay, now the time has been calculated. Let's make the timing false. I click variables again and drag a setMinute2 code block here. Click on the arrow in front of minutes and select timing. A false code block in logic is connected to the value. Okay, the next thing to do is to display the calculated time when button B is pressed. For that, drag an on button A pressed code block under input. Click on the arrow in front of A and select B. At this point, let's first check if the time has been counted. For that, an if code block under logic is dragged into the on button B pressed code block. Let's drag a not code block under logic for the condition. Here, I connect a timing code block in the variables. If the value of the timing variables is false, first clear the screen and display the value to the minutes variable. I drag a clear screen code block in basics into this if code block. To display the time, let's drag a show string code block under basics again here. I am attaching a join code block in the text here. Let's click on the plus mark here and prepare 3 blanks. Now in the first blank, let's type light was on 4. Let's drag a round code block under math into the second blank. Drag the minute code block under variable like this and connect it to the round code block. Let's give this last code block minutes. Okay, now the number of minutes is rounded to the nearest whole number and displayed as a sentence. Now we are almost done creating the code. I think it would be better if there was a way for the user to know whether the time counted is over or not. If the time is counting, let's light all the LEDs, and if the count is over, let's light up only one LED. I will drag a forever code block under basic back here. Inside the forever code block, let's connect an if code block in logic. For the condition, the timing code block in the variables is connected. If timing is true, all LEDs should be lit. For this, drag a show LEDs code block under basics into the if code block and select all the LEDs in this way. Once again, drag the show LEDs code block under basics into this else section. If the time count is over, only one LED needs to be displayed. So let's select one LED from here. Okay, now we have finished creating the light timer project. You can connect the microbit device to your computer and run the light timer project. If you want to share this project, click on the second share button on the upper right side of the interface and click on the Publish to Share button here. Now, you can copy and share this link. To see the creation you have made, WhatsApp it to the number note 7681252244. Tell your friends about the creation as well. Send it to me and also send it to your friends to see this app. And one more thing. You too can join the DP Coding School Telegram group and try to beat the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. For that, stay tuned with us. And one more thing, join our DP Coding Club and now you can start a DP Coding Club in your school as well. We are ready to provide all the guidance for that. If you want to start a DP Coding Club in any school where computer labs are available, make a request through the principal to the email address info@dpcc.lk. So, let's meet with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a nice day.